Information Processing Theory. Hi guys, this is Nicole Pagay and today I'm going to discuss about information processing theory. Information processing theory is a cognitive theory that examines how information is stored in our memory. The idea explains how our brains filter information from what we're paying attention to right now to what gets stored in our short term memory, also known as working memory, and eventually into long term memory. According to information processing theory, forming a long term memory is a process that occurs in stages. To begin, we perceive anything using our sensory memory, which includes everything we can see, hear, feel, or taste at any given time. Our short term memory is used to recall items for extremely brief period of time, such as a phone number, while our long term memory is retained in our brains permanently. Information processing theory was developed by American psychologists in the 1950s, including George Miller. The input is the information we send to the computer or our brains, while the CPU is related to our short term memory and the hard drive is likened to our long term memory. That is according to information processing theory. Our cognitive process filters information, determining what is relevant enough to save from sensory memory to short term memory and then stored into long term memory. Thinking, sensing, memory, recognizing, logical reasoning, imagination, problem solving, or our sense of judgment and planning are all parts of our cognitive process. Using various stimuli to create memory is an example of information processing theory. Sensory memory is Sensory memory is the first stage of information processing, which refers to what we are experiencing through our senses at any particular time. This includes our senses of sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. In a learning environment, the senses of sight and hearing are generally thought to be the two most important. You can engage people by training a variety of styles that appeal to different senses. For example, you can use echoic memory to convey the advantages of a new product orally, which engage people's ears. Show them an infographic that graphically communicates the information and produce memorable recollections and give them product samples to touch. When you offer knowledge in a of ways, you ensure that you are appealing to everyone in your training session strength and boosting the likelihood that they will remember it. The job of our short-term memory or working memory is to filter information from our sensory memory into our short-term memory or working memory, where it is further processed. Some of the information in our short-term memory is rejected or filtered out again, while another piece is encoded or kept in our long-term memory. A variety of factors influence how we process information in our working memory, including our cognitive ability. The role of our short-term memory or working memory is to filter information from our sensory memory into our short-term memory or working memory, where it is further processed. A variety of factors influence how we process information in our working memory, including our cognitive ability. We are asked to recall how focused we may be on any given day and how much our attention we give to information. We also have the ability to concentrate on the information that is most significant or relevant to us, and they employ selective processing to draw our attention to those elements in order to recall them in the future. If we want our trainees to transfer critical information from short-term memory to long-term memory, we must repeat it multiple times, encoding information into long-term memory. Because we filter out information at each stages of processing. Trainers should use a variety of tactics to guarantee that their audience fully comprehends a topic, including breaking it down into smaller parts. Because human can only take in so much knowledge at a time. You should train at a responsible speed, allowing your student lots of breaks and opportunities to assimilate the information. Make it significant. Trainees are more likely to remember materials that is relevant to them if it is linked to real life circumstances and personal experiences. Layer the material by providing appropriate background information and connecting the present lesson to what was previously taught and what will be learned next to examine the possibilities of material being maintained in long-term memory. Presenting a new information more than once is one of the simplest ways to encode it into long-term memory.